Probably the one legitimate critique anyone has ever had about Limp Bizkit and specifically Fred Durst is that he took himself too seriously. As the brains of the operation, it is natural to feel crummy when the world clowns on you for, 24 of the 28 years your band has been a thing. But now that he's embraced his moniker of nu metal king from the trash, what are the tastemakers and naysayers going to do now? I predict they will love the album and wax lyrical about the nostalgia of it all. But of course, that just highlights the hypocrisy, doesn't it? I mean, it's the same goddamn sound. It's the same bounce, similar grooves, choosing acoustic covers that point to the introspection that was always present despite the frat boy persona that was stapled onto the band's image. Unskippable skits, and perhaps we're one of the few metal bands that took the best thing from the hair metal era. Have some fucking fun, why don't you? When Fred yells DJ Lethal on Out of Style, didn't it feel like the earth was healing? It is customary for bands to lose members, and Limp Bizkit is no different. For the last decade, Lethal has been a question mark, so to hear him acknowledged so triumphantly, it was a blessing. We should be on the same team, right? Wes, Sam, and John bring the boom here and then continue right into Dirty Rotten Biscuit. Fred's rapping may be out of style for the 20s, but holy shit, does it feel like someone finally dropped the window in the car. It's fresh air, man. At this point, this is the most fun I've had since I heard Bring It Back on LB's Gold Cobra a decade ago. First time I heard that vibes, I was fine with it. I wasn't wowed, and I figured in the context of the album I might have felt differently. Well, call me Nostradamus minus the quatrains, but I have to admit that others saw and heard the genius of the track when it was released as a single more than I did. And after the high octane start, this is the perfect track to maintain the vibe while catching a breather. Turn It Up Bitch continues to turn things down before we get frozen in time with a cover of Don't Change. Now, I don't listen to NXS, but of course I know the song. But the first time I heard it, as in the cover, I was like, isn't this too nostalgic? Because this song, I know this song, what the fuck is this song? Then I realized that the same thing had happened to me with Behind Blue Eyes 18 years ago. It's like when I heard their song Why on their Greatest Hits album, it just sounded like something that already existed. Did they synthesize the 90s and 2000s so well that they made a song that clearly is missing from the catalogs of either Everlast or Puddle of Mud? Then we have You Bring Out the Worst in Me, and I think this might be my favorite track. If you're a returning viewer of the channel, you know I say the word dynamics a lot. And it's because I appreciate contrast. From the verse's sensitive nous to the satanic nightmare of the chorus, it's just fun, and will probably be played every Halloween from here on out. To say you have Drake's pubes on your face is an insult that we can discuss another day, but to harken back to the initial talking point of this, is Fred Durst truly over all of it? I know we don't give a fuck, and that's still as good a mantra of the 90s as it is today, in the song Love the Hate. I guess I can't say for sure, but this album kinda seems like a victory lap because he told you so. Nu metal made a comeback, people are swagger jacking, his critics now celebrate him, and the people who clowned on anyone who liked Limp Bizkit just now look like assholes. I guess the real question is, were you on the right side of history? Barnacle is an ode to Nirvana, and I appreciate that. I was wondering if he was going to make a SpongeBob reference. I would have appreciated that. Also, the average length of a song at this point in the album is like 1 minute and 56 seconds, and I totally appreciate that. In an era where artists boost streaming numbers by giving us tracks we don't need nor care for, this is refreshing. I told you, the earth is healing. Although I do wish Empty Hole was a little bit longer. Pill Popper is a track that could rapidly move up the pecking order for go-to Limp Bizkit bangers. Fans were ridiculed for liking riffs as simple and primal as the one in the chorus. When I hear it, I want to decapitate people with a 5-iron. put some distance between me and them, but not too much. They need to hear the music more than I do, and I'll be sure to be playing it loud. And, Fred isn't the greatest lyricist of our time, but that's what makes him enjoyable. The struggle bars are fun. He's comfortable, oddly enough, sort of like Drake. Who exactly do they need to impress? And why? That's not their brand, so they just cruise on the beat. That's pretty much what's happening on Snacky Poo. And if you don't like it, there's a chocolate starfish for you to kiss. And then I thought we were gonna get a Frankie J and Baby Bash feature on Goodbye because of that intro. But for real, when you title your last song on your first album in 10 years Goodbye, it leads one to think that you're actually maybe going away forever. And if that's the case, I can accept that. Stampede of the Disco Elephants didn't happen. The deal with Cash Money didn't really pan out. And now, after making at least 3 or 4 albums worth of music in 10 years, Limp Bizkit still doesn't suck. When they changed their sound in 2003, people had a problem. When they changed their sound in 2005, I'm not even sure people even listened. But the newly vintage will always be the new black. So I guess it was all a matter of time before Limp Bizkit would have another heyday. The album art does something to my brain. It's therapeutic somehow. Like it takes me back to 20 years ago when I had accumulated less emotional debris. It's an unsettling and stimulating tonic for the rest of the year. And despite how insufferable I've been throughout the video, in all seriousness, the major takeaway is that people are totally free to like and dislike whatever. It's a diverse world and it's okay to be different or the same or whatever. But is it really necessary to hate on others because you don't like their music or their musical taste? For those who do this, it seems to reinforce their identity for the things that they are for and the things that they are against. To me, I don't know, man. Seems unnecessary, maybe even foolish. Just focus on what you love, make your comment about what you don't, and then go back to what you love. But I suppose in the spirit of letting people be who they are, that means allowing people to feel superior, to just continue, as long as they don't cross boundaries. Then I'll get the 5-iron back out and start swinging again. But yeah, thanks for watching.